What's up everybody, Garrett back here, and what I've got today is I've got my physical media haul for the month of July. July has been a crazy month when it comes to physical media sales. There's bargains here, there's bargains there. I mean, I have such a huge haul here. I'm thinking to myself, where am I gonna put this stuff? I had to do a lot of organizing because now since I've started this YouTube channel, it's almost like my physical media hauls have gotten bigger. Just so I have things to kind of talk about and review and stuff like that. So I have a lot of stuff here. There was a bunch of sales. And this doesn't even include the halfway to Black Friday sale from Vinegar Syndrome, which I did a video on earlier this month. I also have a big haul coming from Severin, but I haven't got it yet, so that's not in here either. So we're gonna kind of go through each one and all the different sales that I got this month. All right, so the first one I wanna go through is this beauty here. True Romance 4K UHD from Arrow. Look at this thing. This thing is sweet. Boom, it comes in a super thick case. I love when they do that. And then inside you've got the UHD disc. Comes with a poster. Comes with a book. And it comes with some postcards as well. So as you can see, I've got my Alabama shades on here. And yeah, I love this movie. I have this in a bunch of different formats. I have the special edition on DVD. I also had the director's cut on Blu-ray, but I could not pass this thing up. This thing is beautiful. I watched it the other night. It looks great. It sounds great. I haven't dove too deep into all the special features yet. So yeah, I highly recommend this from Arrow. And with that being said, I'm going to go through all the other Arrow titles that I received this month because they did have pretty good sale going on there as well. All right, the next Arrow title that I picked up, I haven't opened it yet, but I've seen this movie plenty of times, and I love this movie. And it was one that I've been wanting to upgrade to Blu-ray because I do have the DVD. The price just was never right for me. And I don't know how much I got this for, but it was relatively cheap, and that is Flowers in the Attic. So again, super cool 80s movie with Christy Swanson, and it's got a lot of special features on here. Again, I haven't opened this and dove into it yet, but I'm definitely excited to do that because there's a lot of stuff on this disc. Okay, the next one that I picked up was called The Wind. Now, this was another one that I had on my list to buy, but I hadn't pulled the trigger on it. Again, sometimes with these editions, the price isn't right, especially for movies that I have no idea what this is. I asked around, a couple people gave me the thumbs up on this was good, so I did grab it. I don't know what it's about. I haven't had a chance to dive into it, but that's The Wind. Let me know down below if you guys seen this, have this, and what you think of this one. And the next one I got from Arrow, the last one I got from Arrow, is something that I did already have on DVD, did already have on Blu-ray, but I decided to upgrade 16 Candles to this cool edition from Arrow because my buddy Justin Ryan told me that this has multiple editions. I think this has the television cut and the theatrical cut. And that alone just got me to pull the trigger on this bad boy. So I have not dove into this yet to check these versions out. I'm not even sure if I remember what the differences are between the two cuts, but it is something I'm looking forward to doing because I do love this movie. So thanks, Justin. 16 Candles from Arrow. The next stack is from Kino Lorber. They had a huge sale, and when Kino has a sale, their prices are super low. I grabbed a ton of stuff. It's so funny because I think I messaged my friend. I bought like 10, 11, 12 titles, and it was cheaper than when I had the first 3 Halloween movies on 4K from Screen Factory in my cart. So it was like one of those things. I'm like, do I buy 12 movies for the same price, or do I buy just these 3 Halloween 4Ks? So I decided to go with these movies here. I'll go through each one. Some I've seen, some I haven't. So again, Kino Lorber is that boutique label that I feel like, in my opinion, is the best when it comes to underrated gems, movies that I've never seen that when I watch them, I'm completely like blown away from. They have so many good movies in there. So I'm always down to kind of grab stuff I've never seen before. My buddy Phil, I always go to him because he has a ton of stuff from Kino, and I'm like, hey, tell me what I would like. And he gives me a list, and if I don't have it, I usually grab it. So a lot of this stuff is going to be recommendations from him. So if you guys know Slasher Disc on Instagram, that is him, and he's the one who gave me some of these titles to check out if I hadn't seen them, and I trust his opinion because him and I like the exact same kind of movies. So the first one I'm going to grab here is actually from Scorpion. So I love how Kino and Scorpion are kind of working together here because a lot of these Scorpion titles go out of print really quick. So I make sure to grab most of them just because I know how fast they go out of print and how much they go for. So I like to kind of have them around, and if I don't like them, then they're always pretty good for resale or trades or anything like that. So this was an upgrade. This was Lucio Fulci, Murder Rock. I do own this on DVD, but I wanted to upgrade this Blu-ray just because of the quality purposes. Not that I know that there's anything different as far as the DVD in this when it comes to special features. It could be. I didn't look too deep into it. I haven't watched it yet, but I always like this one. It's got a real 80s vibe with the dancing and stuff like that. So Murder Rock from Scorpion. And again, I was surprised that this was still available, but yeah, I grabbed it. All right, this is another Kino/Scorpion type release. I got it in their sale relatively cheap, and I had never seen this, but this was recommended to me, said it was right up my alley, and this is a movie called Raw Courage. I checked out the trailer, it looks really cool, but I have not put this in to watch it yet. So if you guys down below have seen this one, let me know how it is. And again, when Kino had that sale, a lot of these were on a lot of these had really good prices as well. All right, the next one, same thing. We've got a little Scorpion/Kino release. This is called The Return. It's funny because I put this on, and then I was like, oh my God, do I have this? Because I definitely feel like I'd seen it before. But I've talked about this in many videos. A lot of this stuff that I'm finding on Tubi. I usually will go to bed at night and throw something on Tubi and just kind of watch it, and then usually just fall asleep to it. And if it's something I like, I'll usually just hunt it down and buy the physical copy of it. And that's what I think I kind of did here. I don't remember watching The Return. The trailer looked awesome, but when I started watching it, I was like, oh, you know what? I think I did watch some of this. So I didn't have a chance to finish it yet, but so far so good on The Return. Let me know how you guys like this one because I'm pretty excited to finish it up. The next one is another Scorpion Kino. This is The Killing Time. It's got Kiefer Sutherland in it. So Kiefer Sutherland is in this movie. I checked it out the other day, and I thought it was actually really cool. So if you guys haven't seen this one, hunt it down. So basically, Kiefer Sutherland is a criminal that comes to a small town and becomes like a deputy. And basically, he's just taking an identity of somebody else. And, things get a little bit wacky, and there's a lot of stuff going on in that town that he kind of becomes aware of. And it's a thriller and an action thriller, and it's a pretty cool movie. So I don't want to give a lot of it away, but if you're a Kiefer Sutherland fan like myself and you're looking for something back in the day that's pretty cool and action-packed, The Killing Time. This next one is another Scorpion Kino release. This is Blind Date. I did see this on Tubi, and that's why I have this thing. I loved this, guys. So if you haven't seen this, check this out. This was a movie that I was like, wow, I can't believe that this has passed me by for so long. But it's about a guy who goes blind, and he's trying to kind of hunt down a serial killer. Very, very cool. A lot of like 80s effects in it. The setting and the tone of this movie, very, very 80s. Definitely one I would check out. Blind Date, if you guys haven't seen it. It's another like action thriller from Kino and Scorpion. So again, a lot of those ones that I just showed right there are on Tubi right now. So definitely check those out if you're kind of on the fence about them. So things like The Return and Blind Date, like those are definitely on Tubi. So check those out for free and see if you guys like it. The next one is going to be another Kino/Scorpion release. And surprisingly, I've never seen this. It is called Grunt, and it's a wrestling movie. And I've never seen this in my life. I saw it really cheap on the Kino sale, so I grabbed it. I'm pretty excited to check this out. I've never seen it. I have no idea what this is even about. I didn't watch a trailer on it or anything like that. So pretty curious about this one. Speaking of wrestling, my next Kino title is Body Slam. Now, I did own this on a bootleg, and the only thing I really remember is that Roddy Piper was in it. So Roddy Piper is in this movie. I don't remember if he has a big role. I don't believe so, but I haven't watched this yet. I don't really recall what it's about, but I do remember that wrestling was in here, and I did have this bootleg, but again, I don't remember much about it. So let me know, Body Slam, how is it? Is that going to be a good double feature with Grunt? Let me know. Now, this next one from Kino is with Christian Slater, another Christian Slater movie, and this is Untamed Heart. Now, this was another recommendation from my buddy, and what's funny is I looked at the trailer and I was like, oh my God, I remember this movie. Now, I've never seen it, but as a kid, I think I used to see the commercial or the trailer on Saturday mornings, like around, when I would watch wrestling or something like that. And it always kind of stuck in my head because I can always remember a scene where Christian Slater takes his shirt off and he had like this huge scar down his chest. That was always something that kind of stuck in my head. And to this day, I remember it. And I always kind of wondered like, what was that movie that Christian Slater had a scar on his chest? I just remember seeing the commercial so much as a kid. And for whatever reason, I was too lazy to kind of track it down or research on it. But when I saw the trailer for this, I was like, oh my God, that's it. That's the one that I remembered all these years. So he said it's really good. And again, I trust his judgment. And it's kind of one of those ones I always wanted to see. But I think back in the day when I was seeing trailers for this, I was just too young and I couldn't convince my parents to let me go see it. So I have it now. That's Untamed Heart. Let me know what you guys think of this one. All right, next up, we have The Island of Dr. Monroe. This was really cheap on Kino, and it's been in my cart for a while because this was another one I watched on Tubi. And I really liked it. I really liked the atmosphere of this one. It kind of reminded me of like Planet of the Apes, the old one. So if you guys have seen this one, let me know what you think. I know there's a bunch of different movies called Island of Dr. Monroe. But whatever this one was is the one that I saw on Tubi that I absolutely love. So super cool movie. If you guys want to check it out, it's free now on Tubi, or at least it was within the last month. And that's The Island of Dr. Monroe. That came out in 1977. The next one from Kino is The Bedroom Window. Another one that I saw on Tubi, guys, and I loved this movie. So if you have Tubi, check this one out. Steve Guttenberg is in this, and it's another action thriller. More of a thriller, I guess, but it had me on the edge of my seat, I'll tell you. I've actually watched it twice in probably the last month. I watched it on Tubi, and then when I got this, I checked it out from Kino. It's a cool movie. It was one I had never heard of before, and I just randomly put it on one night, and I was like, man, this is such a cool movie. So definitely check this out. It came out in 1987. So definitely worth a watch. I recommend The Bedroom Window. The next one from Kino is Color of the Night, or Color of Night with Bruce Willis. This is some kind of like special edition that they had. I've never seen this, but it was a good price. I checked out the trailer, thought it was really cool looking. So let me know if you guys have seen Color of Night. I haven't put this one in yet, but it looks like something I'm going to really enjoy. Okay, this next one, man, I'm looking at it, I'm like, why did I buy this? It was like $5. It was in my Amazon like saved listings for probably like 10, 15 years. And honestly, it's because Sean Phillips, aka Cool Duder, a long time ago kept recommending it as one of his favorite movies. And it was just one of those movies that I was like, you know what? I don't own it on DVD. I've never seen it. I know the character. And when I saw this for $5 on Blu-ray on the Kino sale, I was like, you know what? I guess I'll check it out. I'm not expecting much here, to be quite honest with you, because the character I don't remember enough of. I'm actually not even sure how this movie nor character will feel watching this in 2021. But this is called It's Pat. Again, even when I look at it now, I'm like, did I really need this in my collection? No, I probably didn't. I probably could have just watched this on a streaming service somewhere. But again, like I said, it was $5. It was one that I've always wanted to see because he recommended it for years and years on his channel back in the day. And I never went back to check it out. So I finally have it in my collection. I don't know when I'm going to check this one out, but it might be a fun watch. That's It's Pat from that Saturday Night Live skit. And the last one I grabbed from Kino was a brand new title, which was also on sale on their little Kino sale. I think this was under $15. I think it might have been like $14 or $12.99 or something like that. But always one that I wanted to upgrade. I had it on DVD, but I had a version that was on like a multi-pack. So I kind of always wanted to upgrade this. It's a John Hughes movie that doesn't really get talked about as much as it should. Jennifer Connelly, and it is Career Opportunities. And honestly, like I think this has a little resurgence of popularity after this edition was announced. So, because again, this is another one of those films that I feel like out of his library, it doesn't get talked about as much. And which is funny is that it takes place in Target. And to me, that was just always so mind-blowing because it came out in like the early 90s. And where I live, Target was not even a thing until probably... I'm going to even go on the limb and say, I don't even know if we had a Target here in 1999. It might have started after that here in my area in the Northeast. We never had a Target. So to me, Target always felt newer. And when this is a 1991 movie and it takes place in Target, a quarter of the movie, I was kind of always like very confused by that. So definitely one I want to go back and watch again. I haven't watched this Blu-ray yet, so I don't know how it looks, but Kino always does a great job, and it's cool to have this thing upgraded. It's cool to have this on a single edition, like I said, because I only had this on a multi-pack on DVD. So Career Opportunities, definitely a cool one if you guys haven't checked it out. And it just came out from Kino. All right, moving on. So the next sale was on Scream Factory, Shout Factory titles. And they had stuff on their website that was on sale, but they also had a big sale on their stuff on Amazon. So Amazon had these marked down really cheap for a Scream Factory title. So if you guys know and you guys been following, I've done a couple videos, Scream Factory Year 1 and Scream Factory Year 2. And we discuss every single release with the Dead Pit Boys from Scream Factory titles that came out during the first and second years that they were around. Now, if you've been watching those two things, everybody's been astounded that I own every single title for the first 2 years of Scream Factory. Even things that is like very obscure, or, I even wonder why I bought it, to be quite honest, but I was so hooked on the Scream Factory thing. And then it got to a point in time as the years started rolling on. Now, I haven't even looked, because we have Scream Factory Year 3 coming up. I haven't even looked yet to find out, do I have everything from Year 3 or I'm missing a couple things? But as the years started to progress, I started limiting a little bit of what I was getting for a couple main reasons. Space was one. Finances was two, in a sense where they were pushing stuff out like multiple things a month. And it was hard to kind of keep up after a while. And the spot that I was getting most of my stuff was a local shop that had closed down at that point. So I was on like a reoccurring thing with them where every time something from Scream Factory was announced, if I locked into this little program, I got it for a little bit of a discounted price. So that's why I kind of had everything at that point. Like they would just call me and be like, hey, this is here. And because I was on like this pre-order lock-in for them when it came to Scream Factory titles, I was getting them discounted and getting everything. And that shop ended up closing down. So what happened was my go and getting everything had kind of came to a halt. So then it was up to me to find it. So I had to really do all the back work, find out what was coming out, order it from the Scream Factory site, or order it from Amazon. And, after a while, it just got kind of like tedious. And, some of the titles that they were coming out with, I was like, I already own this on Blu-ray. Is it really worth a switch over? Not really, So there's a point in time where I kind of started limiting what I was getting from them. I still got a lot, but there was a lot of titles I kind of put off to the side. So when Amazon was having this sale, and these prices were really good, I started grabbing some things that I didn't have in my collection that I was kind of trying to fill the holes. I didn't get everything I don't have, but I did grab a couple things. So if you see, some of this stuff was new, some of this stuff has been old, but I ended up grabbing it. So the first one was Eyes of a Stranger. So again, I did own this on DVD. It was one of those titles which, like, it's good, but did I really want to upgrade to a Blu-ray? At the time, I was like, it's not worth, the $20. But I ended up grabbing it during the sale because, Jennifer Jason Leigh, I love her. So this was one I definitely wanted to upgrade. And if I remember correctly, the DVD quality was kind of poor. It was a little bit dark. So I was like, you know what, this might be a good one to upgrade, just because I've talked about this before where the quality from a DVD to a Blu-ray to me is so drastic sometimes that it totally gives me a different appreciation of a movie that I might not have really appreciated as much before. So Eyes of a Stranger, I haven't watched it yet. It's been years since I've seen it, so I really don't remember much about it. I get this very confused with the other one they came out with, like He Knows You're Alone, and a lot of those ones when not a stranger calls, but there was another one they just released. I kind of get all those a little bit mixed up because they came in kind of a similar pack of around the same time when I got the DVD. So yeah, Eyes of a Stranger, haven't checked it out yet, but that was one that I grabbed on the Scream Factory sale from Amazon. The next one was a collector's edition, and you might be surprised that I did not own this one when it came out. And for whatever reason, I guess I just let it slip by. Like, I remember it was announced. I wasn't even really sure that it was a collector's edition. And when I saw this listed on Amazon, it looked like it had in the picture the slip. And I was like, well, if I'm going to get this and it's a collector's edition and it looks like it's got the slip, let me take my chances because the price was so good. And that is Pet Sematary 2. Now, It's been a while since I've seen this. I know a lot of people like this one better than the first. I was never really one of those people. But again, if you ask me how many times I've seen this, I own this on DVD. I've probably only seen this maybe 3 times in my whole life. And it's been a while. I don't remember it that much as I remember the original one because I'd watched that a boatload of times. But, I definitely wanted to pick this up. I wanted the upgrade. I know one of my issues with this is that I'm very aesthetic when it comes to certain things. So I like things to match and to, make sense. So in my DVD rack, I've got Pet Sematary 2 right next to each other. But now Pet Sematary was put out by a different company, Pet Sematary 2 by Scream Factory. So now they're not going to be together in my rack. So that kind of was always like a little bit of a bother to me, is that I just have 2 by itself. I don't know. It's just that collective mentality. It's that weird thinking. But again, this is something I definitely want to check out again. And now that it has an upgrade and the fact that I was able to get a slip with it still, because I know this came out maybe about a year or so ago and those slips move really quick. So I was able to grab that at a good price, and I'm super happy that it still came with the slip after all this time. Now, this next one is one that I swear I had this on DVD, but as I was going through my DVDs to kind of check to see if I did have this, I didn't, or at least I didn't see it. And I know I've seen this, but again, this is another one of those movies that I get very confused because there was many that kind of were the same concept back in like the early 90s. And this is Man's Best Friend. Now, I remember seeing this at the stores, at the video store. I've probably even seen it on TV back in the day. But I get this very confused with a bunch of like those killer dog movies that came out back then. They had things like Rottweiler and stuff like that. And this kind of mixes in that mix. So if you ask me what this is about, I don't remember. I swear I had this on DVD. One of the reasons I didn't pick this up when it first came out was because I was like, I have the DVD. I don't know if it's worth an upgrade. But when I saw it for a super low price on Amazon, I checked my DVDs and I didn't see it. So I was definitely happy to kind of grab it. So looking forward to checking this one out. It's probably been since maybe I rented it back in the 90s. So that is Man's Best Friend. Now, I think out of all these right now from Scream Factory, this next one is the one that I was the most surprised with. It's not many times, and I've talked about this before, especially when it comes to horror, that I haven't seen something, and then when I've seen, I was completely blown away and be like, why had I not seen this until now? And this is kind of what this next title is. I had never heard about this movie. I had this in my cart on Amazon for a long time, but the price was always a little bit steep for a movie that wasn't a collector's edition. It was something I had never seen before. It kind of looked like it was like a slasher, like a low-budget slasher. So I never pulled the trigger on it until this recent sale when I saw it was pretty cheap. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to grab this now and check this out. And I'm going to tell you, I was really surprised with this. I loved this movie a lot. It was one that I definitely want to rewatch a bunch of times. The concept was cool. The music was cool. The tone was really good. It was different, I felt like. It was pretty creative. And that is a movie called Scream for Help. Now, I watched this probably like a couple weeks ago, and I can't believe no one's ever talked about this movie much at all. And it's one of those movies from the 80s that you feel like would be in the mix of any of those popular movies, like, even like the one they're coming out with now, like Alone in the Dark and, stuff like that. I'm just very surprised that this was not talked about more. I'm not even sure if this had a DVD. I did not own it. I had never heard of this. So when they announced it, I wasn't jumping the gun to get it because I really wasn't familiar with it. But I'm going to tell you, I loved it. It came out in 1984. It's kind of like a slasher. It's kind of like a home invasion type movie. Really, really cool. I can't recommend this enough. I have talked to a couple people that didn't really like this that much, which I found surprising because I was shocked on how much I did like it. But yeah, I would say don't sleep on this one, guys. Scream for Help. I don't know if this is one of those titles from Scream Factory that might come and go really quick because it has been out for a while. And I've been kind of sitting on this for a little bit because for the price, I was like, I don't know enough about this to jump on it. But I'm so glad I did. So if you guys still see this hanging around, I would bite on this one. Scream for help. You got my rad recommendation. This next one is from Scream Factory as well. It was another one that I've been sleeping on. It's a remake. I wasn't sure exactly if this was going to be something I was going to enjoy. I honestly haven't heard much about it. I remember when it was kind of getting hyped when it was first coming out, but then I didn't really hear much about it at all. Came with a slip. It was dirt cheap, and it is the remake of Rabid. So I don't know anything about it. Haven't opened it yet. Seems very modern, like a modern zombie movie. Guys, let me know below, was this good or not? It was cheap. It had a slipcover. It was a remake of a movie I like. So I was like, why not? So Rabid, haven't tried it out yet, but let me know what you guys think. This next one is an awesome movie. It was one that had been on my list for a while, and I just didn't pull the trigger. I had the DVD, and I was like, oh, you know, the DVD I have is fine. It looks great on DVD. But when I saw the price drop on the sale, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy this. And that is Orca, the Killer Whale. This is a real good movie. I'm actually shocked that this wasn't a collector's edition. Not that it has any special features on it, because it's pretty bare bones, to be honest with you. So I see why it wasn't a collector's edition, but it should have been. Like, I feel like there's probably more out there that they could have found and put on this thing. But this is a real cool movie. You know, I guess you could say it's Jaws, but a whale, right? Like, that's how I always referred to it as a kid, was, oh yeah, that whale type Jaws movie. Yeah, Orca, the Killer Whale. So I grabbed this one. It was cheap, and it's been in my cart for a while as something I wanted to pick up. I just never pulled the trigger on it, so I'm glad I have it now. Like I was talking about before with Eyes of a Stranger, a bunch of those kind of movies that came in around that time, I think Warner Brothers might have did it, because I had like this box set that came with a bunch of different movies. It wasn't a multi-pack, but like they came individually wrapped, but I think it was called like Twisted Terror Collection or something like that. I forget, but it had a bunch of different movies in it, like Eyes of a Stranger. And it also had He Knows You're Alone, which I talked about before. Same deal. I don't remember if I liked this one or not. I remember the quality of the DVD was a little bit So I grabbed this one. It was cheap. It was relatively newer. So I got this on the Amazon sale as well. Haven't opened it yet. It's got a young Tom Hanks in here. That's all I remember. But haven't seen it in a long, long time. So definitely interested in checking that one out. I think it's kind of like one of those just old school slasher type movies. Let me know what you guys think of that one. It's going to be on my list to watch. But again, I'm just kind of rounding out some titles in the Scream Factory collection that I've been kind of putting off and was able to get a good price. All right, I have two more from Scream Factory, Shout Factory. This one is a Shout Select. I had never seen it before. I looked at a trailer and I said, wow, this is something that really seems up my alley. Very 80s. Had Jeff Goldblum in it, Michelle Pfeiffer, and that was called Into the Night. Even this cover looks very 80s. I was like, oh, this looks like a cool like action thriller from the 80s. This is right up my alley. You know what? I didn't like it, guys. I was very disappointed with this. I watched this when I first got it, and I was bored. I was super bored with this. I gotta say, I don't recommend it at all. I got it for a good price. I think that I've even seen this maybe at Walmart or something like that. Sometimes they'll have some Shout Factory or Scream Factory movies. But it wasn't one that I liked. Yeah, I was super excited for it. John Landis produced it and directed it. And, you know, I like more or less of his movies. So I was kind of disappointed about this, to be honest with you. I was just very bored. Maybe I could watch it again, and maybe it was just a weird time. But let me know what you guys think of that one. I actually was not happy with that based on the trailer that I saw. But yeah, that was Into the Night with Michelle Pfeiffer and Jeff Goldblum. Now, the last one I actually kind of forgot I pre-ordered. It just arrived like 2 days ago. And that is Stephen King's The Dead Zone. I like this movie. I totally forgot that I pre-ordered this a long time ago, and it just happened to show up with the poster. Yeah, The Dead Zone. Haven't opened it yet, but it's always a real cool one. If you guys haven't checked it out, this is brand new. Christopher Walken's in it. Scream Factory just released this, I think, this week. But yeah, still sealed, so I haven't watched this new transfer yet. It's got some different special features on here. I do have the old DVD that came out, so I kind of put that aside for now to create some room for this bad boy. But yeah, The Dead Zone, haven't checked it out on this new version yet, but I'll definitely be doing it soon. Okay, so as you can see, like I talked about at the beginning, July has been crazy because all these bargains and sales and this and that, and you know, more people messaging me being like, oh, did you see the sale on this site or that site? I'm like, oh, no more. So it's crazy, guys. I've still got another 10 more titles left. These are a little more miscellaneous. The first one is from Vinegar Syndrome, and it was another one that I watched on Tubi that I was very, very surprised with. I had never seen it before, and I knew Vinegar Syndrome had put it out, and I'd kind of seen people talk about it here and there, and it was one of those ones that I was like, you know what, I'll get this eventually. I'm going to make a trip to the archive in a couple weeks, so I was like, oh, you know what, maybe I'll try to grab it. And that was called Sudden Fury. This was really cool, action thriller. Again, it's on Tubi now, and I was very impressed with this. So I was so impressed that I went right on the Vinegar Syndrome website to buy it, and it was sold out. And for some reason, I felt like this was a newer title. Newer in the sense that it wouldn't have been sold out newer. So I was like, wow, this is sold out. Like, maybe it's not even going to be at the archive. So I went, scoured the internet. I actually found it for a pretty decent price. I think it may have been, it was either Diabolic or Grindhouse. I forget who had it. But there was no slipcover or anything, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to grab it now just in case this thing skyrockets in price. But Sudden Fury, very, very cool movie if you guys haven't checked it out. Now, this next one is from Code Red, and the Code Red's the same as Scorpion, where they'll put something out that's obscure, and then it'll go out of print pretty quickly. This was another one that I watched the trailer, and I was like, oh, you know, this kind of looks like it would be up my alley, and I did not like it too much at all. I was pretty bored. The concept was cool. It was kind of something we've seen before with these like skateboard movies or BMX movies. And this was Race for Glory. And it was basically about motorcycle racing. And I thought this was definitely going to be something that I loved. And I even thought the trailer was really good. It was okay. This is probably not something I'm going to go back and watch again. It's a Code Red title, so I know those kind of stay valuable in a sense. But I kind of blind bought that, and I was not that impressed with it, honestly. So that is Race for Glory. Let me know if you guys like that movie, if you even knew it was out. I had never seen that until I just kind of gave it the old blind buy when I saw that it was getting lower in print run. So that's Race for Glory. Can't say I recommend that one. All right, this next one, you guys are going to be like, what the heck? I can't believe I saw that. But somebody at my work was talking to me about this movie, and I said, you know, I know the movie. I'd never seen it. And they're like, you never seen it? It's an 80s movie. I figured you would be all about it. I didn't. So I bought it and I watched it and I was like, you know, it was a good movie. That was Mystic Pizza. Now, out of everything that I've seen, you know, you're right. I can't believe I've never seen this before. And Mystic Pizza, actually, the restaurant is actually not too far from my house. I know people go to it sometimes. I've heard about it. But maybe I'll go check it out now. But yeah, Mystic Pizza, it was good. Some people say it could be considered a chick flick. I thought it was good. It felt like kind of like a John Hughes movie in a sense, but something that I enjoyed. So I'm sure you guys have more or less seen this one. Mystic Pizza, I grabbed it on Blu-ray. It was very, very cheap on Amazon. All right, now this next one I have not opened yet. People have been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. I've been hesitant about it because I'm very hesitant when it comes to more like modern horror. I'm more or less not impressed half the time. But Uncle Bill over at Dead Pit actually gave me a big recommendation on this and said, hey man, I actually think it's really good and I think you're going to like it. So it was cheap, so I grabbed it, and that is the Mortuary Collection on Blu-ray. So I don't know anything about it. Haven't watched the trailer for it. I just keep hearing people talk about it. It was on Shudder. I don't have Shudder. So I grabbed this thing, and I'll check it out soon. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this. I keep hearing good things about it. All right, the next one is from Vestron Video. Again, I've talked about them before. They put out such great titles at great prices. How can you go wrong? So to upgrade The Wraith, I knew it was definitely, no questions asked. Cool movie. I've always loved this one. The car in it is fantastic. It reminds me a lot of my first car, which was a Dodge Daytona. It's a lot cooler than my car was back then, but it kind of resembles that in a sense, is that old 88 Dodge Daytona that I used to drive around with the nice T-tops and stuff. That was my first car, so I always really liked the Wraith. I have not watched the Blu-ray yet. I just have that old DVD. But I'm looking forward to checking this one out again. All right, the next two are limited edition Steelbooks from Best Buy, 4K UHD Steelbooks. If you follow me on Instagram at Born to Be Rad, I already posted pictures of how cool and beautiful this Steelbook is. That is Howard the Duck. Now, again, I know this movie gets a lot of hate. It's not the greatest movie, but it was a movie that I watched a lot as a kid. So there's definitely some nostalgia there for it. But yeah, Howard the Duck on 4K UHD with this awesome, sweet, look at how beautiful that picture is. It's embossed. Howard the Duck Steelbook from Best Buy, I knew I had to get my hands on. Now this next one, I've heard good things about it. I like the first one. I have not even opened this one yet. I just got it. It is the Steelbook 4K of A Quiet Place 2. So I haven't even opened it yet. Haven't seen it, but I've heard pretty good things. Let me know what you guys think of A Quiet Place 2. I'll probably be checking this out very soon, and I did like the original one. Now this is another movie which I was surprised I had never seen. I've heard of it. I've kind of seen pieces of it, but it was another one that was on Tubi that I was like, you know, I'm going to put this on, and I was laughing the whole time, and I said, wow, I don't own this movie, and I might as well get this for a relatively cheap price online. So I grabbed it. It was See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder. It's a funny movie. It's basically like Gene Wilder is deaf and Richard Pryor is blind, and they kind of became friends and they kind of work on like a business together, but it's just the interaction between the two because of one being deaf, one being blind is hilarious, and just goes to show like how clever comedies were back then. I thought this was really good, and again, you're gonna probably be like, I can't believe you never saw that either. Yeah, I'm shocked too. Like, I've seen The Toy, I've seen a bunch of this stuff, but for some reason this one just kind of passed me by, and I was up one night just laughing away at this thing. So I highly recommend See No Evil, Hear No Evil for some good laughs. And this last one was, I've talked about this before, there's a guy on Facebook who sells a lot of these things, and I've been buying them, where he'll take movies and kind of splice them all together to make one giant movie. He adds in like deleted scenes and stuff like that. He did it with some of the Halloween movies. Well, he did it with the Evil Dead. He called it the Book of the Dead edition, where basically it's all 3 Evil Dead movies spliced into one giant movie. I haven't watched it yet, but it's really cool. It comes with reversible artwork. It comes clean in here. Look at that. He does an amazing job with the way these look. I mean, superb stuff. So I have a bunch of stuff from him already. I have all the Halloween stuff. I have this. And again, he does a real good job where he'll take the movies, he'll splice them together to make it flow like one giant movie, add in like deleted scenes where they belong in the movie. It's really cool. It's something that I kind of wish more companies did, especially with the deleted scenes. Like, personally, I would have rather had an edition where you can slide them into where they belong rather than just watching them just stand alone. That was always kind of a pet peeve I had, is like, I wish it had just a second edition with those in there. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, this is a cool edition. Like I said in my last video, if you guys want to know where you get this, just shoot me a message in the comments, and I'll let you guys know where you can get this stuff. But yeah, that's my July haul. There was a lot of stuff, a lot of sales. Now I got to try to organize and put this where it needs to go, organize the stuff I haven't watched yet. But thank you guys. I've had a lot of good feedback in my last couple of videos. The last one I did was the pizza time video with my brother and his wife. Make sure to check that out. I did another Sega Genesis video. So we're still doing the physical media thing. We're still doing the horror thing, but you know, I want to get a little more nostalgia stuff in here. So I'm kind of adding little things in here. I always like having guests. I like doing that kind of stuff as well. So season 2 of Rad Recommendations is coming soon. I've got some people locked and lined up for those, so keep your eye out. Again, thank you guys so much. If you are into this stuff, like and subscribe down below. Leave comments, share this video. Let me know which titles in here you got. Maybe there's titles that came out that I haven't got yet. Like I said, this doesn't include my Vinegar Syndrome haul, which you can check out here. And this also doesn't include my Severin haul, which I still have not got yet. So again, thank you guys so much. Like always, stay